Coming up on Naperville News 17, a decision on Moser Tower is pushed to 2020. A contest sure to save its winner, a lot of dough, and a direct line to the North Pole in downtown Naperville. Hello everyone, I'm Kim Pierce. Thanks for joining us for this week's Naperville News. The fate of Moser Tower will be put off until next year. At the latest Riverwalk Commission meeting, city staff said the assessment of the 160-foot tall structure is complete, but the language on the report will be simplified so commissioners can better understand it. Over the last several years, architects have been assessing Moser Tower, examining corrosion and rusting parts of the 20-year-old structure. According to the Engineering Resource Associates report, repairing the structure would cost around $1.9 million, and repairing it and enclosing the lower section of Moser Tower would be near $2.7 million. Both costs are contingent on construction being done in one phase and include the price of maintaining the structure over the next 30 years. The final option is to demolish the tower for $660,000. The hope is to present the Riverwalk Commission with the report in January so they have time to assess and make a recommendation to City Council after their February meeting. Also at the meeting, city staff announced the freeze on the state funding for the proposed Washington Street Park has been removed. The park would be built between Burger King on Washington Street and North Central College, who would partner on the project. The grant from the state is roughly around $1.1 million and is set to expire on June 30th of next year, but city staff will ask for an extension. They'll focus their attention first on the Washington Street Bridge construction, which is slated to begin in 2021 and expected to finish in 2022. City officials said they're confident their extension request will be approved. The City of Naperville recently hosted an open house to discuss its comprehensive master plan. Naperville hired Aurelios Levy Associates in June to update the city's plan, which was first drafted in 1960. Representatives of the firm led residents through a baseline concept for the plan, while also taking questions and suggestions from those in attendance.
So I hadn't participated before, so it was just primarily me learning what the purpose of this plan was. And so I think I learned quite a bit about the process as well as really the use of it, the intended use of the plan.
A comprehensive master plan serves as a guide for development across the entire city, while also addressing things like affordable housing, traffic, and other city goals. At this meeting, Aurelios Levy was looking for more resident feedback on the land use proposed in the plan.
We heard from the community there was a desire for more open space or a loss of open space and a desire to see more open space throughout the community and linkages.
Levy estimates the final plan will be ready in January. The comprehensive master plan draft is available for public viewing on the city's website. The hot topic at the latest Park District meeting was taxes. Though the Park District passed the 2019 tax levy totaling $21,785,491, two commissioners voted against it.
It's time that we realize that the best place for a dollar is the taxpayer's pocket and not the government's. I invite my fellow commissioners to join me and reject overtaxing and compounding further harm to our residents.
Commissioner Josh McBroom also opposed the levy, saying it was unnecessary to meet budget requirements and maintain the district's AAA bond rating. Those voting in favor of the levy cited the scheduled minimum wage increases over the next several years as one reason for their support.
Despite the state mandated minimum wage and three major projects that we at the Park District have on the horizon over the next year or so, Naperville residents will see a decrease in property taxes paid to the Park District in 2020.
The final vote on the item was 5-2. The Naperville Area Chamber of Commerce is showing support for a national trade agreement. The North American Free Trade Agreement, or NAFTA, has allowed free trade between the U.S., Canada, and Mexico since 1994. But with more and more business being done online, many believe an update is necessary.
It's very outdated in the sense that During that time, there was no e-commerce. There was a lot of different innovations that have occurred since that time to make it not the best functioning, useful agreement.
Local leaders were joined by the representatives from the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, the Canadian Consulate, and the Mexican Consulate to show support for the proposed United States-Mexico-Canada agreement. The event was hosted by Spinisi Americas, a local body shop equipment company who supports the USMCA.
The biggest thing to realize is from this North American location, we export to both Canada and Mexico. And we've seen some declining growth in Canada because customers have been waiting to see what was going to happen with this agreement and when it was going to be passed.
Both Canada and Mexico have a firm support for the new agreement, but it still needs to pass the U.S. House and Senate. The deal did get a public nod of approval recently from House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, who said House Democrats had reached an agreement with the White House. Illinois exported an estimated $27.6 billion to Canada and Mexico in 2017. After the break, a poetic way to celebrate the holidays.
Naperville Crime Stoppers.
Yes, I'd like to report some suspicious activity in my neighborhood. How does this work?
Yes, thanks for calling. Your call is anonymous, and I'll not ask for your name. Instead, you'll be identified by tip number. In a few weeks, call back with the tip number you received, and I will let you know the status of your tip. If an arrest is made, you could receive a reward up to $1,000.
How do I get the reward money if you don't know who I am?
Well, when you call back, we set up a time and a place to drop the money. You will be safe, and nobody will know you gave Crime Stoppers a tip.
Okay, well, here's what's going on.
Have you been a guest in our studio or part of a news story? Have you seen a news story that inspired you or one that you just found interesting? Has your son or daughter been featured in a sports highlight? Or perhaps they interned with us? If you've been impacted or informed by NCTV 17, kindly consider a donation. By doing so, you'll be helping to document our community's history as it happens.
Dealer Inspire recently brought a full day of focus and perspective to Naperville. Our own Casey Krajewski was there to take it all in.
The third annual Refuel Event, put on by Dealer Inspire, brought inspirational speakers to the stage to rejuvenate the crowd.
The greatest export in the history of the United States is the American dream. And this ideal that there's a place where you can do or be anything.
National speakers like Gardner were joined by local leaders like Nikki Anderson, former president and CEO of the Naperville Area Chamber of Commerce. Dealer Inspire CEO Joe Chura started the event after hearing a speaker in 2015 who motivated him to run the Chicago Marathon.
I thought if hearing the words of someone can motivate me to change my life, why not try to bring speakers in to motivate my team in different ways, because people take inspiration and motivation in many different ways.
The original 2017 Refuel event was initially planned just for employees of Chura's businesses, but extra seating at the Yellow Box Auditorium allowed them to open it up to the public to get even more people that refueled feeling.
When you come here, that's what this is all about. It's you get this energy, not only from the speakers, but even from the people that are here. And that energy inspires you, and it's not just a day that it lasts like sometimes it does. It stayed with me. I was inspired to be a speaker here simply because of what I experienced last year. So it's pretty great.
On top of the benefits to the attendees, ticket sales help support Loaves and Fishes. For Naperville News 17, I'm Casey Krajewski.
It's been a busy construction year at District 204. A recent presentation to the school board gave an update on the district projects and previewed some future ones. Over $12 million has been spent this year on maintenance projects at Indian Prairie School District 204. The fifth phase of installing air conditioning at every elementary school in the district was the highest cost project at $4.8 million. The second was Wabansie Valley High School's new gym floor and bleachers at around $1.7 million. Since construction season is from June until mid-August, district officials felt the need to present the update a little bit earlier this year.
This is due to the great amount of projects that we need to get out to bid early before other work, either by school districts or industry, is also out to bid, as this will help us get more competitive pricing.
Some of District 204's 2020-2021 projects include AC at elementary school learning media centers and installing solar panels on top of Mattia Valley.
The important thing to note here, there is no cost to the district for this project. The benefit is that the energy produced by the solar panels will be sold back to the district at a cost lower than what we would be paying the power company.
DePaul mentioned that construction might start a little bit earlier next year and will go into the school year. Indian Prairie School District 204 recently held an equity training session for some of their educators. The 4-course series aims to teach culturally responsive strategies to District 204 teachers. Jennifer Rowe, the Executive Director of Educational Equity at District 204, hopes the session exposes teachers to different ways they can interact with their students.
I think it's just really important for us to be mindful that kids come from all different places and the way that they learn can be different, and it's really best practice for us to come into our classroom and make sure that we're hitting them with as many different avenues for receiving instruction.
The equity training also taught teachers learning can be fun.
Are you ready to beat the challenge chair? Yes, I am! Excellent!
The more ways that we're able to approach learning in the classroom, that will ensure that it's fun, it's engaging, and that kids have the best opportunities that they can to get the information that they need. Our teachers really appreciate it that we're able to take some time and give them the training that they need so that they can go in and do their best work with our kids.
Once the series on culturally responsive teaching strategies is complete, educators will share with each other how they've implemented what they've learned into their classrooms. A new exhibit at Naperville Settlement gives visitors a look at a timeless holiday poem.
'Twas the night before Christmas, when all through the house not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse.
Dozens of editions of the poem "'Twas the Night Before Christmas" are displayed around the Preemption House, some dating back to the 1800s.
I liked the old items that we were able to contribute to the cases to represent different things. It was a challenge to find them.
Each book is turned to a different page and is surrounded by antiques and other items taken from the lines of the poem. There's even a reading nook for those who want to pick up a copy and enjoy the story themselves, and trees decorated with images and lines from the poem. The exhibit will be on display until December 22nd, just in time to wish a happy Christmas to all, and to all a good night. The majority of the exhibit was provided through a partnership with a local chapter of the group, the Golden Glow of Christmas Past. A local business is celebrating their 60th anniversary and treated one lucky Naperville resident to a tasty prize.
Well, I received a call a couple of weeks ago from Joe Aurelios, the owner. I thought it was a prank call at first.
But it was no joke. In honor of Aurelios Pizza celebrating their 60th year in business, the pizza chain held a contest to give away 60 months of free pizza, and Wagner was randomly selected to be the big cheese. At Aurelios in Naperville, the son of Aurelios' founder and its current CEO, Joe Aurelio, presented Wagner with the winnings in the form of 4 $25 coupons per month for the next 5 years.
We started in 1959 in Homewood, as you know, by my dad. We're giving back to our customers like we have for the past 60 years. I mean, that's the way my dad started the business, one customer at a time. It's our 60th anniversary, so we're thinking what would be a great way to give back to our customers, and we thought, okay, tie in the 60, so came up with 60 months, and what else would we give them but free pizzas?
$100 worth of pizza a month for 60 months is certainly enough to share. Wagner said he can't wait to enjoy the pizzas with his friends and family, but does hope to give back in a more meaningful way.
That's a lot of pizzas. So I was trying to figure out how I might be able to pay it forward and maybe donate some of my pizzas to some local charities, homeless or some of the food pantries or something like that. So I'm thinking about ways that I might be able to pay it forward a little bit as well as enjoying it myself. So,
as for what Wagner might top all those pizzas with, likely his favorites, sausage and mushrooms. Coming up, it's time to go shop with a cop.
thought the interview was great. It helped increase exposure for my center in Naperville. It helped increase my exposure within my company. And above all, it was just great to talk to Liz about education, and we both share a similar passion about it.
The finish line is in sight for the $30 million of renovations at Martin Avenue Apartments. Naperville News 17's Casey Krajewski went to check on their progress.
Residents at Martin Avenue Apartments have started moving back into their units after some much welcomed renovations to the facility.
I liked the apartment. I would have problems with the tub. Not that I have problems with my body getting in and out. It was just uncomfortable. It was a little too high, and I like this the way it is now.
The majority of the apartments have completed the remodel, and all units should be finished by Christmas. That means tenants are moving back in after a temporary period away and seeing everything new about their homes.
New counters and new sink and refrigerator and air conditioner. It's working very well for me. I'm very happy with it.
Management said they're happy with how renovations are going and that the residents are back in the building.
It was a big job planning for the renovation, making sure the tenants could maintain as much of their normal life as possible. But we put a lot of time into planning for a good hotel stay and transferring tenants there and back home comfortably.
The facility will also add a completely new 68-unit building to the site, which they hope to finish by August 2020. For Naperville News 17, I'm Casey Krajewski.
Renovations on the lobby and community areas are also expected to be finished by the end of the year. A wolf made its way all the way from Chicago to a Naperville library. Chicago Wolves player Jake Lecision recently paid a special visit to the Naper Boulevard Library. The Hockey Center was there as part of the Chicago Wolves Read to Succeed program, an initiative presented by Butternut Bread and Julie Inc. to encourage kids to spend more time in libraries and see the benefits of reading. After a raffle to give away free Wolves gear, kids were able to ask Jake questions, get an autograph, and take photos. And don't forget, the Naperville Public Library's Winter Reading Program is happening now through January 19th. The Naperville Park District Santa House recently hosted some special guests. On December 10th, Santa's humble abode was open to families of military members and first responders. At the private event, kids colored pictures, made Christmas ornaments, and wrote letters to deployed troops.
We're very fortunate to be able to spend Christmas together as a family. There's many families that don't get that opportunity to do that. So to be able to send a little thank you to them and let them know that we appreciate them, I think that's great, and it's very important that we do that and that we teach our kids the responsibility of that and how important that is as well.
Once they wrote their meaningful messages, kids were able to meet Santa to share what's on their wish list. This is the second year Operation Support Our Troops sponsored the event. Some shoppers had some help this season getting their last-minute holiday gifts. Our own Christian Kenizal has the story.
It's that time of year again where community members are in the spirit of giving, and the Naperville Police Department is doing just that. The Fraternal Order of Police hosted their annual Shop with a Cop event in conjunction with Unity Partnership, giving underprivileged holiday shoppers a $100 gift card to Target. Along with some furry helpers, police officers offered some suggestions to holiday shoppers on what gifts to choose.
Look at Jessica, do you like it? Yeah? You want to take it? Okay, I think we can take it. It's just so much joy to shop and get to know the family and just seeing the kids' face light up when they're able to get a present that they would normally not get. So that was really rewarding.
50 community members were able to pick out some toys, clothes, and much more, not only for themselves, but for their loved ones as well.
Let's go like Pokemon. Pikachu.
Pikachu the best?
Yeah.
And you picked that out all by yourself, didn't you?
Yes.
Yeah, because you know he likes it. Do you think it'll make him happy?
Yeah.
The event was also a chance to build trust and familiarity between community members and police officers.
When the police care enough about you to want to spend money on you, to want to shake your hand, to want to let you know that you can aspire to be anything you want to be, they become officer friendly. And that's what we need today.
The event aims to promote a simple idea that giving is better than receiving.
I got to go out and see what they wanted to get for Christmas, and I felt like I was able to participate in their Christmas in a way.
Police said over $5,000 was spent, but the most important thing was the holiday cheer they were able to give. For Naperville News 17, I'm Christian Canizal.
'Tis the season to light up that fireplace and get your holiday decorations up, but make sure you stay safe while you do so. Naperville News 17's Aisha Ashley Hausa shares some fire safety tips for these chilly months.
The winter season means it's time to break out the candles, great food, and Christmas trees, but they all come with an increased risk of fire. According to the Naperville Fire Department, more than 1/3 of home decoration fires are started by candles.
They're usually pretty good about keeping it away from combustible materials, but they'll let the candle keep on burning. They'll walk out of the room, forget about it, go to sleep, forget about it, and then it burns down right onto the counter or to materials that are nearby.
A safer option is to use battery-powered candles instead. You also want to keep an eye on your food while cooking. Those holiday meals can be a fire hazard if you forget the burner on, so be sure to stay in the kitchen when using the stovetop. Another holiday tradition, of course, is lighting up the Christmas tree. Before decorating, take about an inch off the bottom, then place it in water to prevent it from getting dry.
You should check the water at least every day because those trees, especially new trees and fresh trees, will absorb a considerable amount of water on a daily basis. And then once the tree is starting to lose the needles off of it when they get dry, that's the time to take it out and get rid of it out of the house.
And don't forget to turn those lights off before heading to bed. Reporting for Naperville News 17, I'm Aisha Ashley Hausa.
One last tip, keep presents and holiday decorations a safe distance away from a lit fireplace. Up next, a local man joins Team USA in the inaugural International Disabled Hockey World Cup.
We tell everybody's stories big and small. Everybody's story matters to us, and it comes in a variety of shapes and sizes, and that's what makes it so special. We don't always need a big story. Sometimes we want a story that makes us laugh. Sometimes we want a story that we relate to. Sometimes we want to cry with that story. But more importantly, we want to hear the stories about our people in the community.
Ryan Mueller still remembers the night well. When he received word, he would don the letters USA on his sweater.
Found out in Madison that Saturday night in Madison, before we got on the ice, I found out that I made the team.
Ryan Mueller has been playing with the Chicago Blackhawks special hockey team for 12 years. He was one of 6 members from the program to be selected to skate with the USA team.
Of course, Mom was videotaping and taking pictures, so it was very emotional for all of us because, all the players that got letters that day and got selected to be on that team, it was just very, very exciting for all of them.
Paul and Kim Mueller's 2 sons, Ryan and Mikey, both play hockey with the Blackhawks special hockey team. And it wasn't until this past year that there was even a USA team to aspire to.
Team USA was discussed with the directors and coaches over the summertime, and they actually put a list together of players who they felt they would submit for the Team USA.
USA Hockey has always supported disabled hockey, and there's been a national team for sled hockey. Last year there was a national team for blind hockey, and they wanted to get all of their disciplines of disabled hockey to participate.
Melanie Freeman is the director of Chicago Blackhawks Special Hockey, joining after her son Evan began playing. She has seen firsthand how the program fosters growth, even in players who had never worn skates before.
What we're here to say is hockey is for everyone, and that's why it doesn't matter what level you're at. We start them little. They have to be at least 5 years old to skate, and then our oldest one is 59 years old.
Affiliated with the professional team, Chicago Blackhawks Special Hockey is a Blackhawks charity, an entity that has opened up doors for so many players in the Chicagoland area.
We can't thank the Blackhawks enough for what they do for this team. And how they sponsor us and support us. We've grown we started out at 1 rink and now we're at 5. And every time there's an opportunity to start up another team somewhere at a different rink, they say, oh, go ahead.
And it's that willingness to grow the sport and provide chances for potential players that set Ryan and Mikey down the road of skating.
He was 12 years old and couldn't skate.
20 years ago is when Chicago Special Hockey started, and they've been playing for 11 and 12 years, and it's been wonderful for those 12 years.
I'm Kevin Jackman.
And if you have a sports story feature you'd like to share, you can let us know at newstips@nctv17.com. Do you have a wish list this Christmas? If so, it's time for Santa to take a look. Jolly Old St. Nick has set up a special mailbox on the corner of Main Street and Van Buren for kids of all ages to send their letters before Christmas. Santa's elves will be sure to get them to him before Christmas, which is why the mailbox will be there until December 20th. And make sure you're on the lookout for a response from the big guy in red. He'll be sending a letter right back. After dropping off your letter, you can meet Santa in person at the Santa House on the Riverwalk. And that's what's happening right here in your neighborhood, Naperville. We'll see you next week. Until then, you can catch up on local news by signing up for our NCTV 17 news update, delivered right to your inbox Monday through Friday. Sign-up information is right on our website, nctv17.com.
This week's Naperville News 17 is brought to you in part by the following sponsors. This program is partially funded by a grant from the City of Naperville.